This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening. A Howrah man aged in his 30s remains in a serious condition at the Royal Hobart Hospital tonight after suffering severe burns in an industrial accident at the Near Star zinc smelter. Unions representing many of the plant's 600-plus workers say they have ongoing concerns about inadequate training, and members have been shaken by last night's incident.
Tasmania Police wouldn't comment on camera today, but confirmed they were called to the Newtown smelter at 1 a.m. A male employee believed to be from a labour hire company suffering serious burns in what police described as a suspected spontaneous explosion. Ambulance Tasmania also attended and rushed the father of two to the Royal Hobart Hospital, where his injuries are described as serious. No one else was injured in the incident, and WorkSafe Tasmania is now investigating.
We obviously have concerns about the level of training across the plant. More importantly, our number one concern is with the affected worker and his family at the moment.
The company instead issuing a short statement before meeting with union officials. In it, the company confirmed the incident happened in the electrolysis department and the man's burns are significant. It goes on to say that there is nothing Near Star places higher value on than the health and safety of its workforce, and support is being provided for the co-workers and family of the injured worker. It's understood the man had been working at the plant for around 6 months. The union says he has burns to 65% of his body and has been placed in an induced coma. Late today, the Royal Hobart Hospital confirmed the man's condition has not improved and he remains serious. Meanwhile, Near Star says it's continuing to work with relevant authorities and is also conducting its own investigations.
We've also spoken with members that were involved with the incident last night. They're struggling. Obviously, it's one of their workmates that's in a pretty bad way at the moment, so their thoughts and prayers were asked to be passed on to his family.
Andrew McCarthy, Southern Cross News.
A fire on a quiet street in Newtown overnight has destroyed a family home and caused more than $300,000 damage. Emergency services were called to the Carlton Street property just before 8 o'clock last night. 3 crews battled for more than 2 hours to extinguish the blaze, having to saw into the roof to stop the spread of fire said to have started in a loft bedroom. The occupants escaped unharmed. A formal investigation is underway. The state government is planning to change laws in an effort to crack down on dangerous driving. Police Minister Reen Hidding says moving the charge to the criminal code could see a 10-fold increase in the maximum penalty for a first offence. He says the laws need to send a clear message that dangerous driving won't be tolerated in the state.
We believe this is a strong response to what Tasmanians expect from the laws in Tasmania, particularly after a number of key events in the past years.
Labor says it will wait to see the legislation, but is already offering in-principle support.
We're happy with any method that gives more options in sentencing. I think that's an important thing, but I don't think that you can look at it in isolation. The penalty might not prevent somebody from behaving badly. What we do need to do is look at what do we need to do to create safer drivers.
The draft bill can be found on the Department of Justice website. Investigations are continuing into the identity of a man's body that was found in rugged bushland near the Tahoon Airwalk last week. Tasmania Police have confirmed it is looking into reports that the man is a Swiss national. It has received information the man left Switzerland in 2010, telling his family he was going travelling. He has never been reported missing. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers. A recent bout of arson and vandalism in the Hobart suburbs of Gagebrook, Bridgewater and Herdsman's Cove has become so terrifying for locals, many are afraid to go to sleep at night. A community member today speaking out, calling for a stronger police presence and more streetlights.
Get more police into not only our community but every community, because it's happening everywhere, all over the state, and people shouldn't be living in fear.
The police station in that area, it's well staffed. It's in fact the centre of a large policing district. We call on all Tasmanians to behave in a way that doesn't threaten their neighbours.
Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. 3 Tasmanian adventurers, all with different disabilities, have achieved an incredible feat, completing the highest abseil in the Southern Hemisphere. The Friends undertook the adventure at Tasmania's Gordon Dam as part of a team-building exercise for another inspirational journey.
It's an incredible feat for anyone, but for these 3 adventurers, it's about fighting misconceptions. The trio all have different disabilities. Paul Pritchard has partial paralysis, Duncan Meerding is legally blind, and Walter Van Prague lives with cystic fibrosis.
Definitely a lot of teamwork involved, from hauling up 140 metres of rope to climbing out of the dam, because there's ladders to get out, and it created some interesting sort of challenges just to get out.
Good to go? Yeah, you're right, mate. Not a problem.
Although they all have experience scaling heights, the thrill seekers agree stepping off a 140-metre ledge is never an easy feat.
What about when you're halfway down and you're 10 metres out from the wall? It's really bonkers, isn't it?
This team-building exercise at Tasmania's Gordon Dam, a way to prepare for their upcoming expedition, lowest to highest. The group will ride bikes with 2 other Australians from Lake Eyre to Mount Kosciuszko to promote an important message.
Our disability shouldn't define who we are, and that's why disabled person is not PC anymore, it's person with disability.
It's not about cans and cannots, it's about helping each other out and having everyone contribute to society in whatever way they can.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania's ASL Inclusion team has had its final hit out before competing at a national carnival on the Gold Coast. The team is made up of players with an intellectual disability. Today they went toe-to-toe with players from Old Scotch, who have been helping the side to train.
From where they started to where they are now, their skills have improved.
And it's good to get up there and put the little map on and show these other states what we're about.
It will be Tasmania's 4th time at the National Carnival, which begins on July 24. A team of local performers are gearing up to bring all that jazz to Theatre Royal as final rehearsals for the Tony Award-winning musical Chicago got underway today. Set in the 1920s, the show tells the story of Roxy Hart, a nightclub dancer who finds herself on the wrong side of the law. Chicago opens on July 28.
In the Seaball, the Hobart Chargers have taken out both Tasmanian derbies on the road overnight. The men's side racing to a 23-point win over the Northwest Thunder. Mathiang Muo top scored. In the women's, the Chargers outclassed Launceston, leading at every change. The final margin, 26 points. Lauren Mansfield's 100th game became one to forget. A clumsy contest from the Tornadoes, gifting Hobart 26 points from turnovers alone. Alex Chippertoni made the Tawns pay for their poor composure, scoring 23 points and 5 rebounds, bettered only by captain Kathleen Shear, who scored 29. Typical for a Seaball derby, the contest left a few bruises. Lauren Nicholson slammed here on the hardwood. The 24-year-old was taken off the court in visible pain. In her first game against her old side, Michaela Roof played the majority of the match and contributed 14 points. And it ended up being her night. The Chargers held the lead from the second period onwards. With 4 rounds to go in the season, this victory keeps Hobart's chances of a top 3 spot alive. The Tawns remain 2 wins clear of the Chargers, but climbing into the top 2 from here is now a much tougher task. Meanwhile, a packed-out Ulverston Arena witnessed the night's second Hobart success story. Mathiang Muo sensational, putting 30 points on the board, plus 9 rebounds. The Sudan-born tall helped Hobart to its 11-point lead by half-time.
Get back in, man up. No 3.
After the break, the ball stayed up Hobart's end of the court. The Northwest Thunder managed just 8 points in the third period, struggling to contain the run of Chris Whitehead and Robbie Hire. Jeremiah Ingram stood out for the home side. He sent home an impressive 24, but the Chargers never looked like losing. 23 points the difference. Hobart is 1 win off top spot on the table, while the Thunder remains in 4th. A dramatic close of the Hamburg Triathlon has seen Tasmanian Jacob Birtwistle cross the line in 2nd place. The result lifts Birtwistle to 9th in the series overall standings. Hamburg played host to race 5 of the World Triathlon Series for 2017. After finishing in the low 30s during the last round in Japan, Bert Whistle immediately went about setting the record straight. 6th fastest in the swim leg, exiting the water and onto the bike, Bert Whistle kept up the pace, sitting in the chase pack during the 40-kilometre ride. Then the final 10-kilometre run produced fireworks. Bert Whistle neck and neck with New Zealand's Ryan Sissons in the battle for silver, before pipping him at the post. Bert Whistle is now 9th overall in the World Series. In London, Tassie's Todd Hodgetts has claimed bronze in the shot put at the World Para-Athletics Championships. Hodgetts' best attempt was his last, throwing 15 metres 96, just 1 centimetre ahead of 4th place. Meanwhile, Dion Kenzie will compete tonight in the 800-metre final after qualifying on Friday night. After starting 16th on the grid, Hobart's Alex Peroni has finished 13th in race 1 of the Formula Renault Euro Cup at the Nürburgring. Peroni finished 20 seconds behind Russian winner Robert Schwartzman. Back home, South Hobart has beaten Clarence 4-1 in the NPL. It's South Hobart's 10th win in a row. The side is now 7 points clear on the top of the table. And despite leading at the final change, Burnie has lost by 20 points to North Launceston in the TSL at West Park.
Good evening. A cloudy day with some showers in the north. Hobart and Launceston both reached 11 and it was 12 degrees in Burnie and Devonport. 14 was the state's high at Friendly Beaches. It was 13 at St Helens, Flinders Island and King Island, 12 degrees at Low Head and Wynyard, 11 at Grove and Strawn, 7 at Medina and 3 at Lyowini. Here we can see some upper and middle level cloud covering much of the southeast of the mainland ahead of an upper trough. On the close-up, extensive cloud covering the state. Tomorrow, a complex area of low pressure moves towards Tasmania with several fronts and troughs extending from it. A high pressure system builds over southern Western Australia and extends southwards. Taking a look at the coastal waters now, northerly winds reaching 30 knots about the west, seas 2 to 3 metres. There's a strong wind warning for coastal waters between Southeast Cape and Stanley. Light rain for Hobart tomorrow, an expected top of 12 degrees, Dover 11, Ooze 9. Launceston and Devonport a rainy 12 degrees, Scottsdale 11. More rain for Burnie, Strawn and Stanley, all looking at a top of 13. St Helens light rain 13 degrees, the same for Swansea, Ross 11. Taking a look ahead to Tuesday now, showers about the north extending to the west and far south through the day. More showers on Wednesday, mainly about the south, west and central areas. Snows lowering to 400 metres in the south. Thursday, showers easing through the day. Snowfalls to around 400 metres in the south, rising to 700 metres in the north. Showers for Perth, Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow. Darwin sunny and 33, possible early fog for Brisbane and a partly cloudy day for Sydney with a top of 20 degrees. And right now around the state it is cloudy, 9 degrees in Hobart, 9 in Launceston and 11 in Devonport. And that's all the weather I've got for you tonight, Rach.
That's all your news for now. I hope you've had a great weekend. I'm Rachel Williams. Thanks for joining us. Good night.